Hey, what up, guys? So something happened to me recently where it was kind of like a wake-up call, and I know I've been wanting to do videos and share the knowledge that I have for a very long time, but something happened to me recently where it was like, wow, I could have died, and I just need to get out all the information that I can as soon as possible, just if something happens to me like that. So this, what I'm going to talk about, it's hard for me to talk about, and I don't really share with anybody. And I think my intuitive feeling is that there's a lot of spiritual workers and light beings on the earth that are going through the same thing right now, and probably a lot of people will go through in the whole awakening and ascension process. But so yeah, I was diagnosed with mental illness disease it was schizoaffective disorder when I was about 19. And I think it all started. So this will be like part one of this series. It's going to be quite a long series, but it's been a crazy last like 5 or 6 years. I've been um, healing and learning how to heal it, and it's gone very well. And I just need to share that information as well as all the knowledge that I have of remote viewing and extraterrestrial contact and stuff like that. So it all kind of blends in together, like infinity equals one, right? But yeah, so it all started, I think, with me smoking weed early as a kid. I started when I was like 15 or so, and it was probably like, I don't know, maybe like the fifth or sixth time I got high. And I had this like ultimate sense of paranoia just hit me. Before then, it was like weed was fucking great. And I mean, I'll edit that out. But yeah, weed was awesome. And then all of a sudden, I like farted while I was high, and I thought I crapped in my pants, and I it was so funny. I just like had this sense of paranoia, like, oh crap. But yeah, ever since then, um, like whenever I smoke weed, and like I smoked weed so much in high school, and I don't even like looking back at it, it was so dumb because I would get paranoid every single time, but I just thought it was like that's how weed was or whatever. So yeah, I got really paranoid and kind of built a habit of being in the state of paranoia mindset, and it didn't really become an issue until I was 19. Like I said, I did mushrooms a couple times in high school, and then I did quite a bit of mushrooms one time. And it was like at Red Rocks right after I graduated high school. And then fast forward a little bit, maybe like 3 or 4 months later, I was living out on my own with a friend of mine in an apartment. First time I'd been away from my house, and so I was just like, oh, F it, I can do whatever I want. So I stayed up smoking weed for like 3 days straight, and you can imagine how bad that is for your brain. And I was a stupid kid. But yeah, so when that happened, it was some sort of energy awakening too, I'm sure of it. But I started getting not paranoid, but I had this sense of like I was the center of everything, and just like the whole world revolves around me. Everything that happens for a reason, which it kind of does, and I'll try and explain all of that later. It's been a very interesting experience, but yeah, I thought I was the center of everything, and I thought people were like talking through my computer to me, and they weren't, obviously, but I mean, it's just so hazy. Um, I'll get into a lot of stuff later too that like not all of this is fake either. Like manifestation is a very real thing, and if you deep like dive really really deep into it, you'll see that it's not always good, but it can also be a very beautiful thing too. So yeah, I ended up getting hospitalized because I started saying some crazy stuff about like the NSA contacting me and whatnot to some people at a courthouse, and then yeah, like firemen ended up showing up, and they took me away in an ambulance, and I woke up in a hospital after some stuff happened that I'll probably talk about later too, in the ambulance, which is super super weird. But yeah, so I ended up getting hospitalized when I was 19 for the first time. And I was in there for probably 3 months for the first time. It sucked so bad because you're like trying to heal yourself mentally, and you're around all these crazy people that are like, I was like, damn, I thought I was crazy, but then you get in there and it's like, holy shit, these people are whacked out. Like there's this one guy who had a tattoo of an eye on his forehead. And I remember asking him about it. He's like, it has nothing to do with Egypt. But he was super old. He was like 60 or so. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is so weird because spirituality and like remote viewing and manifestation, it kind of blends into like the mental illness, like what modern society would call mental illness. So that's kind of my mindset that I had very early. Like this, like society is effed up, and there's like I saw it early. Like there's a lot of effed up stuff in society, and that's what I kind of took after they kept giving me more and more drugs and stuff. And they finally sent me out on Haldol, which is like this horrible, horrible antipsychotic that just makes you like this docile, like couch potato that you can't even move. I couldn't even like take a shower because I was just so effing exhausted all the time. Oh my God, I can't believe they put me on that. Anyway, fast forward more. I end up getting hospitalized. I was in and out of the hospital probably for like a total of 5 or 6 times between ages of 19 and 21, I think. And then I finally stopped smoking weed, and that's what finally made me start to get back to where I was like onto the path that I needed to be on, so to speak. I was taking some antipsychotics, and then after like maybe a year or so of taking antipsychotics, I was kind of just like, F this, these effed up people don't even know that they're living in an effed up world, gave me this effed up thing. So I stopped taking them, and I was like, screw this, I'm gonna learn how to do it the Eastern way, and that's how my journey began. I mean, not my journey, but my journey of trying to cure my mental illness began. I'm 25 now, and I can say that I'm doing pretty damn well now. And I've gone down some bad roads, and I've been in some low places as far as mental illness goes. And I'm telling you right now that you can do this too, and you can make yourself better. You can cure yourself of this. It's horrible what types of influences happen in our lives that make us react certain ways, and some people just have more brain chemicals active in their brain. It doesn't mean that it's a disease. It just means that you have to try harder to find your balance. So that's what this video series will be about, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thumbs up for the like. Yeah, thanks.